And the count in is 3, 2, 1. Okay, welcome. I think this is my number 222nd Zoom event. But welcome back. And today we're going to try to have fun again and talk about the Bones cigar that we're just releasing. But also we have some special guests to talk about fantasy football. So the commissioner of the GCC League, Jonathan, welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
All right. We're glad to have you on it. And then we're going to have Zach, the Garage Gorillas fantasy champions in the garage. Zach, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Long-time listener, first-time caller. Glad to be here.
And then, of course, we have Gary, a fantasy player this year in the GCC League. My question to you, Gary, is what is your team's name?
My team's name?
Yeah. Raccoon?
But yeah, we're going to go with the rabid raccoons. Now we have to tell that story that I just caught 4 raccoons in my backyard.
And a skunk. Don't forget the skunk.
And a skunk. So yeah, we'll call ourselves the Rabid Raccoons.
But I love
I'll tell you my team name.
No, please.
The Chillin' Moose 2. It's really my team name.
All right. I think I'm going to go with this group, Bonehead. I'm going to do the Bonehead
I like it.
team.
I've decided on Little Ricky. That's my name. Team Little Ricky.
You know what? You have a great mascot.
Yeah. You know what? I think the new bobblehead might look closer to me than it does to you.
I agree. I think the other
I think
one
it looks
really,
like Jonathan, actually.
Yeah.
You might be right.
Jonathan is wearing the best shirt on the Zoom event. Really, bro? Thank you so much. That's an honor.
I had to buy a box to get this.
Yeah, it looks good on you. It's amazing.
Thank you.
And so let's talk about Bones. Bones is the newest cigar from CAO. We released it, I think, last week. It should be hitting the shops last week and this week. And so, guys, any feedback so far that you're hearing about Bones, or Zach? You're
in South Florida, CAO Bones has been doing extremely well. What I think is the one thing that I find the most intriguing is when those who have smoked it, the one thing that they're saying is that its consistency and the rate of which it's burning is so great.
right.
And a lot of people are saying the way it's burning, the way it's tasting, their enjoyment in the cigar, they're getting it just by the way it's made. And I think that's actually been a very consistent thing that a lot of people are telling me, which I think is a great thing. But for me, the cigar is just this really nice, calm, cool smoke, which is really what I look for. I don't want out of bounds flavors. I don't need something that's too spicy or too mellow. It kind of hits right in that nice, sweet molasses, center spot for me.
Because if you look at, the worry that we had was we introduced the broadleaf last year with Session. Could we also introduce a broadleaf this year, but a different take on that broadleaf? And if you notice, what you're going to notice right away when you approach the cigar for the first time is the color of that wrapper, because it is not as dark as, Session is a dark cigar, or Flathead is a very dark, broadleaf. But if you look at what we try to do is kind of peel back some of the sweetness of that Maduro and just ferment it a little bit shorter and age it a little bit shorter, and to not turn the color so deep and dark and rich in that area. So if you look at Maduros from Cuba right now, they're always on that top range of dark brown to light black. And that is what they consider Maduro. So when you're putting that tobacco through that process, what you're trying to accomplish with the less fermentation and less aging is really not breaking out that starch into sugars, and that sugar really enhances that color. So
Right.
it's not as sweet when you put it in your lips or your mouth. It's not as sweet as like the session is.
Yeah, and you're right. And you know what? That really plays through. You can definitely, even by if you kind of put them side by side, you can definitely tell the difference just
Oh,
in
yeah.
the wrapper alone. The high gloss that you get with the session, which makes it seem like it's definitely got the more sugar. You almost can see it, right?
Right.
Where you can definitely tell the difference if you just have them side by side.
I have something to share that's equally as deep. I just bring the box in and show it to them, and they just buy it. I don't
I
even let them
agree.
try the cigar. It's a
I
badass
agree.
box. So
You
yeah,
know, I think that we hit a nerve by just calling him Bones.
yeah.
That is a name that everybody seems to, kind of gravitate to. But then they see the box and they, Gary, can you show that box
Yeah,
again? Because
absolutely.
if you look at that box, and you see this box on your shelf, and all of a sudden you go home and you open it up, there's a lid, and you take that lid away from the box,
Here's
and
the
that,
outer one,
yeah,
which is pretty
so,
cool.
and that's kind of dominoes, and we have dominoes and dice on it. But also, Gary, go back to the lid. Go back to the lid, and if you see the bottom of that lid, turn it around. That is where you throw the dice, and so every box comes with some dice.
Yeah, that nice felt inlay is a really good
Yeah,
idea.
it really is kind of cool. But you know what? Again, we didn't really talk about the blend last week, and what we did with this cigar, we kind of want to showcase the Connecticut broadleaf and also the Connecticut shade. So if you look at the makeup of the cigar, of course, we're using it for the wrapper, the Connecticut broadleaf, but I also have the Connecticut shade as a binder, and that doesn't happen often because the value of that wrapper being used for a binder is kind of why you're doing this. But I just think it's kind of gives that flavor, introduce that flavor that like I don't know, it's just bro, the seasoning on this steak is perfect. And then if you look at the combination of the fillers, we have three countries represented, but we have four tobaccos. So two tobaccos from Honduras, one tobacco from Nicaragua, and one tobacco from the DR. And so I think the combination, I really wanted a kind with the team develop a cigar that kind of gives you the experience of eating a great steak. I mean, you just love that interaction with that steak for as long as it lasts you, and you just love every bite. I hope that these guys smoke the cigar and love every toke, every exhale. So, bro, that is like a beefy, good steak, and I enjoy that cigar.
And to go back to the box, which is the only thing I know to talk about, the other thing I love about it is it looks like a special edition, much more expensive cigar than it comes out to be. It's got that great CAO price point with just like a lot of thought, a lot of elegance put into it, although retaining the same similar styles that we've done with our World Series and all that stuff. I just think it looks great, and the cigar is fantastic. I had my birthday a couple days ago, and I had a few friends over, and we all smoked Bones, and everyone, bar none, loved it. They thought the world of it, and that's who I care more about than the other reps out there. Like, these are just regular dudes, and they're like,
Oh,
I will buy these when they come out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
I think the other thing too, you're not expecting it to be like a really nice wood box too.
Right.
And it's a really like the quality of the box
Yeah.
is really awesome.
Well, let's also talk about the names that you got. You know what I mean? From Matador to Chicken Foot.
Yeah.
You know,
So
Blind
those are-
Huey.
Yeah,
Blind
so
Huey. Yeah.
two represents the domino games, and two represents dice games. The other one I really fought for was the Mexican train, but at the end of the day, we're like, Mexican train sounds like a movie from the '60s that you have to go into.
Desperados.
Yeah,
Pew pew. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, maybe not in an election year.
Good one, bro. Good one. So that is Bones, and hopefully, any questions we'll have about Bones, we would love to answer all these questions. But the thing that I want to kind of have fun. I don't know if everybody's joining or they're into fantasy football, but we have been having a league in the garage for, I think this is going to be our ninth or 10th year.
Yeah.
So,
I think this will be the 10th year.
yeah, so I think it's going to be a great time again. I love fantasy football. I love, I think I think I enjoy the draft more than I do the season, because the season, sometimes when you're watching the game, you have a player in that game, it takes away from that game,
Right.
especially when you're playing your home team and you have a player on the opposite team. I hate that. And so if I can,
Well, we don't have to worry about that anymore. We got Tom Brady on our side. We're good.
So, bro,
We're good.
I can't. All
We're good.
Can I have all Bucks?
Sure.
Yes, please.
Sure.
Please do.
All right, so we'll start with this. What is your? All right, so Gary, if you had the number one draft pick for the GCC Fantasy League, who would that be?
So I would probably say this is probably where everyone is going. Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, so he's off the board. Zach.
Ooh, this is a new take.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got to go first.
Because everybody's going to,
I feel like I need to channel my inner Skip Bayless and tell you how much I hate that pick and how terrible I think it is and all that. But it's not. It's a bad pick. It's a good pick, Gary. I think you got a good one with your boy Christian.
Especially in a PPR league, which we're doing.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
All right, so
I don't like Christian McCaffrey because obviously with Cam Newton not being there, you kind of are going to expect the run. And who's their quarterback now? Who's Carolina's quarterback now that Cam Newton's out? When I'm asking that question, I'm asking Jonathan because I don't think Rick knows that answer.
no, bro, time out.
Is it Luke something?
I don't know.
What's the kid's name?
Huh?
We can say kid because he's probably younger than all of us.
Yes, definitely. He's definitely younger than me.
Somebody's listening right now. It's like they're screaming out loud the name of that player.
Yep.
That's
Somebody-
our biggest rival, too, man. I don't know. I feel like he played
anyway.
all last year because Cam was hurt.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, I can make the same argument for who I think it is, and I'm going to say the name of who it is, and then I'm going to get a lot of backlash, but I don't care because I'm going to say it anyway. So I'm going to say my number one pick would be Derrick Henry. I think at the end of his last season, he probably had the best standout last 6 games you could possibly imagine.
I think he weighs more than me.
Bro, when you see with a lot of these defensive players, a lot of these guys are saying, who's the guy you don't want to tackle?
Yeah.
Derrick Henry. The guy's a brick house. I mean, the fact that he can run his 40-yard dash and I think he can get like a 4.7. I mean,
No, he's a beast.
He's a train. And the thing, something happened to him in the last 6 games where he figured it out. And I think if he can get that swing in beginning of this year, and especially because the Titans are going to go to him time and time again, because you got to think about the fact that Mariota's out, thank God.
Right.
Now they're going to bring in another guy. The only guy that they've got that could facilitate a strong offense is Derrick Henry, and nobody can really hit him. He's the size of a linebacker, can run faster than all of them, and he's got a stiff arm that's you can't reach him.
Yeah. He reminds me of Eric Dickerson.
Yeah.
Right? Because he runs standing up.
He runs standing up, and he's as hard as to tackle as Jerome Bettis.
Yeah.
Where did he play college, Paul?
So I just want to put that out there. So he played for the University of Alabama, where he beat the University of Georgia in the national championship.
How much he was getting paid per game when he was out?
Oh, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
He was getting paid.
He definitely took a pay cut for the NFL.
He just got signed to a pretty good 4-year contract.
Yeah, so great pick. I agree. I think it's a great pick. Jonathan, you're up.
I would, as the third pick, not the first pick, take the best running back in football right now with no team around him, and he's the only guy there, Saquon Barkley. That guy, to me, is only going to get better for the next 3 to 4 years. He's at his peak right now. unlike Derrick Henry, he knows when to put the plate away.
That's true.
And I think he's going to be have a massive year this year, and the whole team's
Not
going
to
to ride on his
mention, the
shoulders.
guy's got calves the size of tree trunks.
Yeah. So it'd be between him and Zeke for me, but yeah, that's who I'd take.
The only guy I wouldn't take is Ezekiel Elliott. Wouldn't take him.
No.
Wouldn't take him.
Agree.
I think he's going to have a good year. Hopefully he falls to me.
I think I would pick myself, Michael Thompson.
Yeah, solid. Yeah.
Because I think Drew is done this after this year, and he's going to just light it up. I mean, just light it up.
Even if he's not done this year, which he definitely doesn't need to be, he's still going to light it up. He had an amazing season last year. Michael Thomas was clearly the number one wide receiver. I mean, after Michael Thomas, I don't really know who you pick.
Julio Jones, he's
I was going to say, no,
pretty damn good.
No, I know that. It's with Julio Jones is kind of would be your I don't even think he's a sleeper. He's definitely
it's a sleeper team. It's a sleeper team because they're all talking about the Saints and Bucks and all that. Be careful for Atlanta. I mean, because they play when the spotlight is not on that team, they really play.
Yep.
So yeah.
I'm hoping so.
So Teddy Bridgewater is the Panthers QB.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So definitely don't pick Christian McCaffrey. That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's bad news bears.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Run or run?
Or you can throw a short pass to him.
Oh, yeah. To Christian McCaffrey.
Yes.
Yeah.
One man, one driven offense.
Now let's kind of go back to cigars. First up, Gary again. If you, who is your favorite team, and what cigar would you pair for CAO with that team to represent that team?
So I'm from just outside of Boston, so the Patriots are my team. So the cigar is a tough one. I mean, I would say the Flathead, but I'm not going to choose that. Obviously, the Flathead is one of our more successful CAO cigars, but I would say more of like an old school classic. So I would say more of like, I would say the La Traviata, which that is actually one of my favorite. I like the natural Amaduro. I would probably say like the Divino size.
Yeah.
And that was also one of our first top 25 cigars for CAO too. So I would say that kind of fits well with the Patriots.
I think it represents your team because when I think of the Patriots, love or dislove them, but I think it's a great ownership, great coaching, great quarterback with Brady, great team, history. So if you look at a classic team, how do I build a NFL team from scratch? That would be the one that you choose. I have no problem in the factory says, we have never made a cigar, but we're going to make La Traviata. And that is a cigar that we're going to stake our flag in the ground and say, this is what we represent. So great pick. I think is a great mix for your team. Personally, I hate your team.
But you love my cigar.
Love your cigar, but I'm so tired of those cheating son of a, whatever.
Well, now you like them a little bit more this year.
No, those guys aren't Patriots anymore. Let's make that clear.
They're gone, bro.
They're Bucks. Okay?
They're gone.
They're Bucks.
They're gone. All right,
They're still
Jonathan.
Belichick's kids.
Jonathan, you're up. Who's your favorite team?
All right, so my favorite team is a team that's been in the Super Bowl 2 times in my lifetime. They've always finished second in that Super Bowl race, 1998, and
that
a year I
sounds
want
really
to forget.
similar to Georgia. Is that?
Oh, it's funny.
Mine.
And so they always finish second, but they've been second to John Elway and Tom Brady in my lifetime. So I'm going to call them the CAO Consiglieres, the Atlanta Falcons. So they are the
Dirty Birds.
The Dirty Birds, but they're the Consiglieres because they're the second, they're the associate, they're the guy next in line to the boss. And so that's my team. We've been next in line to a couple of big bosses in NFL history. Also, the colors match up pretty damn well.
They do.
Yes.
Great.
So
That's a great pick.
the consigliaries, yeah.
Yep. All right.
That's a nice one.
All
That's
right,
a nice
Zach.
one. So my team is going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Fire the cannon, all that good stuff. The cigar that I would choose that goes with them, and I'll tell you why, is going to be the new CAO Bones, not new, but the newly restored, re-innovated, the new, brand new, great score and rating that it just got in the CAO Bones. Now I feel like the Bucs are going to get a brand new restoration with their new boys coming in from the Patriots. So I think I'm going to go with CAO Bones and Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That's a classic pick.
Nice.
I couldn't argue, but I am, because I am also a huge Buccaneers fan. And the reason I tried to talk Gary out of picking Flathead, because I wanted it myself. Because I am, the last time I really went out to see the Bucs play, it happened to be in the Super Bowl. And so I was there for them to win their only Super Bowl. And so in my heart, they are the best of the best that, team in Tampa represents, and that's the Bucs. And so my cigar would be the Flathead, because I think it's the best cigar that CAO has ever made. Today it's as great of a cigar like we did 5 years ago when we launched the cigar. So I think Flathead would definitely be my number one.
Should we rename the size the Gruden? Is that what we should rename the size? The John Gruden?
The 770s, the Warren Sapp.
The Warren Sapp.
Yeah.
My friend just texted me Teddy Bridgewater, as we found out 10 minutes ago.
Right.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Bro, he's not watching. I think he has Dolan.
No, I think he texted me when it happened, but I just didn't notice it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. You got mail. You got mail, bro.
We do. He does live in Somerset, Kentucky, with me. It's not exactly the bastion of internet speed.
You can update your system.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know, Gary. Any questions so far? Or
Any questions yet?
all right.
But I was going to say, in the meantime, you could also tell everyone about. Actually, there's a couple things that we have going on Cigar World. Anyone that writes a review for any CAO cigar in the month of August is automatically entered to win a bunch of different CAO swag.
Right.
So you just go on to cigarworld.com to do that. And then you also have your Domino's game on caocigars.com that you can tell everyone about.
Yeah, we so you get the opportunity to play computer bricky with the domino game, and so I've played about 30 times on myself, and computer Ricky has won about 28 of the 30 games. So maybe you can beat him. I don't know, but I'm a great domino bones player in my garage. I can kick anybody's behind, but we'll see. But
just for playing that too, you automatically get entered. I don't know if you have some of your swag that you give away at your events to show everyone, but you also get entered to win all that stuff.
I know.
Hey, Ricky, I wanted to say thank you for providing a CAO Bones Dominoes table to the winner of the Fantasy League this year.
Yeah,
that's a pretty damn cool prize, man.
I agree with you. You know what?
And
when he sent me
appreciate
that email,
it.
When he sent me that email, I felt so happy that I was going to get that Domino's table because you're not going to win, Jonathan.
Oh, I'm going to win.
Okay.
I've been playing fantasy football since you were in middle school. So.
And we diapers.
Okay. Again, how many times you won your league championship?
I probably spread out 6 or 7 wins across 2 or 3 leagues in 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, but it's I'm in some pretty tough leagues, so that's why I wanted to start this one this year, where I had a great chance of winning.
Your mom and grandmother and aunts and all that were a great league.
It's tough, man.
Yeah,
We do have a lot of friends. You got to really involve the family. Which I'm in a cool league here in my hometown. Not my hometown, but where I live. But the first year, the prize was part of a brewery downtown, and whoever won the league got to get a beer named after them. So they're going to brew a beer, name the beer after them at the brewery, which was a great idea. So my friend that was texting me about Teddy Bridgewater that's on AOL, he won the league the first year. Never got his beer, never got it named after him, never got anything out of it. So they still owe him a beer.
Well,
Jarfly Brewery.
They're still waiting for his email.
Never went through. Like my Texas.
buffering.
Dialing.
You know those AOL CDs, man. Those things were the bomb.
Yeah. So I'll do this. I will give the champion a table, but the loser has to put a CAO tattoo on their body. I don't care if it's
like last place.
big. Last place, you have to get a CAO tattoo. The CAO, and you can pick it, the size. I don't care, but I have to see that tattoo. So the winner does not receive their table until that loser applies that tattoo. So
Wow.
That's a hot take right there.
So
wow.
now I'm not saying that it can't be like a Hannah tattoo. What stop?
Didn't say it had to be
In that
permanent.
case, we're all in.
Didn't specify that it had to be permanent.
That's our secret.
Right.
The other guys.
Oh man. So newly married Zach, newly married Jonathan. That's gonna be fun conversation.
She doesn't know how much I'm spending on
I'm
fantasy.
sure they'll
football.
approve of
Don't say
that.
anything.
It'll be easy.
Bro, just get an ankle one. You can hide it.
I like to show my ankles. That's my best feature.
So I think we talked about this, in the past. But what do you think when you are selling CAO? What do you think CAO represents in our line when you approach your accounts and say, CAO represents to me, new tobaccos, or just the way that we present our cigars and the names and the packaging is kind of new age, and kind of what do you think CAO represents to you guys when you approach your account? Is it a hard sell or easy sell, or everybody believes in CAO today that kind of like 10 years ago, like I don't know.
Well, I mean, for me, I think you and Doug have done such a great job on the creativity side of it. The two of you guys really mesh so well together in creating not only you, Rick, great blends, and then Doug, you combined with these great ideas that all kind of mold together. So I think you have this concept like, who's going to make a cigar called Bones, and then name it Chickenfoot, and and who's going to do that? I think you guys play on this role of being creatively aggressive, right? And I think being creatively aggressive allows you to be cutting edge on the shelf, meaning your blue, your black, your red, your colors that present to the consumer. And it makes me want to pick it up because I'm curious. I'm curious of what that ingenuity is, of what that creativity represents. So when I present it to a customer, I don't really have to say that much because they're also intrigued, just like the consumer will be when they buy the cigar.
But my question to you, Zach, would be, because the history, it has to be a history of, receiving. We can do crazy boxes, crazy names, but at the end of the day, the cigar doesn't sell. The cigar doesn't match my, audience. But I think for me, when I do events and I talk to shop owners, the thing that I hear that I really take, pride in, oh, bro, you know what? Your last or the second cigar or the first cigar, every cigar that you introduce to my shop seems to sell, because at the end of the day, it comes down to the tobaccos, the blend, that these guys are doing in the factories. It really does.
It does. It absolutely does. It comes down to consistency, you know, the
Yep.
level of which from, you know, CEO La Traviata, you know, depending on which size you want to go with,
Right.
to Flathead, to Pulone, to Session, to now Bones. You follow this line of being consistently right, it seems like,
Right.
where the consumer can say, man, this cigar is just good, you
Mhm.
know?
I'll say for my territory, it's been interesting because I moved into this territory, and one of the best reps I've known is a guy named Miguel Shodell, who is from Ohio in this area.
Well
And
said.
he's a great dude, lives down in Florida now. But he was the original CAO rep, or one of the original CAO reps in this area. So obviously he built up a huge presence as a great rep. And then obviously the brand got sold. And so Ricky had an uphill climb in our territory. The reps before me did a really good job building it up. But I think that base, starting with what CAO originally was, and then transferring into what Ricky's made it, just adding on to it, it's been really cool in my territory. And one thing I do in my territory that I think is a little different is when I bring Ricky, and Ricky knows I drive him all over the world. So I drive him out to the middle of nowhere into some smaller shops where, you know, maybe a lot of guys don't go to and a lot of guys don't spend time at. And these guys have become like powerhouse CAO accounts.
Yeah.
We made a personal connection. Every time someone smokes a cigar, they say, I had a conversation with Ricky about this, or Ricky was in my shop and he was telling me what was coming out new. And it's been such a cool thing. I kind of get to stand out of the way and say, hey, this is that cigar Ricky was talking about. Obviously they're going to bring it in. They're excited about it. They get behind it. They want to post it. They want to share it with Ricky. And it's been a really fun thing. And I think that's such a key demographic that we leave out sometimes is some of these hardcore shops that love and have a passion for cigars that might not be in a big city, might not be in the center of everything. If you give them a little attention, it goes a long ways.
I love that.
Right. I think you did hit the nail on the head with two simple words, fun and passionate. I think that's kind of what CEO kind of represents.
Yeah,
It's,
exactly.
you know, being the cigar that you want to share with friends, share with people, share the experience, and those who have this passion for not only blending the cigar, but, you know, smoking them in a group environment. I think when you smoke a CAO, I don't really necessarily think, and Rick, maybe you can attest to this also, that I don't really think of smoking CAO on my own. I think of, I'm having a barbecue, I'm having friends over, I'm doing this. I want to share that cigar with somebody else. And I think that's more or less what I envision when I think of CAO is a cigar that I want to pass on to somebody else who shared that experience with, because I really enjoy it. I think you're going to also.
I think, you know, for me to you guys, I think, you know, what we did in the beginning is not worry about the whole pie, everybody out there smoking cigars. We started to build from within the fan base. If we can run out for the fan base of the old regime and build from that foundation and grow it and only concentrate on the CEO fans, and then that guy will share a cigar with his friend and bring in that guy into the CEO kind of fan base. And so, Gary, you know, you and I uh, definitely were working together at the beginning. And we, you know what, it is so different doing an event today versus back in the day when we just kind of took over and we realized number one, there was a lot of love for the old family, the old Rosine, and now this powerhouse called General Cigar is just going to destroy it. So, you know, I remember, you know, a lot of events that we were walking in and we didn't know if two people were going to show up or 200 people, and we're always amazed that it was slow growth, but it was steady steady. And then to go back to an event that we visited 10 years ago together and see all these guys still in our kind of our fan base, that's epic.
I think one of the cool things too is you always, at the beginning, we had really high expectations. Like CAO, like Zach said, was always known as like cutting edge, but really trendy. Like, you know, whatever was new was always like a hot cigar. So I think because you specifically didn't really worry about that, I think that may have had to do with why you guys were so
Exactly.
successful. Like your tobacco knowledge, you know, in addition to how creative you are and the CAO team is, I think, you know, I think what has surprised a lot of the fans over the years is we never really lost any of that, which usually when there's a lot of like, you know, mergers and acquisitions like that, they do lose that feel. And I don't think CAO really lost too much of that original vibe that everybody, you know, really came to love.
Yeah, no, and definitely not. I mean, especially, I mean, back to what Rick said, when, you know, you went to an event in the beginning, you didn't know if it had 2 people or going to have 200 people. But I think what I've learned from you over the time is that if it has 2 people or if it has 200 people, the level of importance is still the same.
Bro, thank you
You
so
give
much.
the detail that you give for the people who are just 2 people versus you have 200. You try to get to everybody. What you portray in your events is the same.
Oh, he tries to get to every one of your events?
Yeah.
At my events, I have to literally pull him from person to person. I'm like, Ricky, it's been 11 minutes. Go to the next guy. Yeah, go to the next guy, Ricky. You've got this guy's whole life story.
This guy's ear is bleeding.
Every guy leaves an event thinking, I think Ricky and I are pretty damn tight right now. And Ricky leaves that thinking that too, though. And that's the beautiful thing. Like he's just as interested in it too. So it's fun.
It's fun. It really is because you know, again, what I love is that kind of off the beaten path kind of situation. And you know, Zach, your territory is so different because it's so kind of built up. You're dealing with Miami, you're dealing with West Palm, you're dealing with Naples. These are established places. But when I get with Jonathan or Nick or sometimes Matt Bender, and it's, bro, buckle in. Our first stop is 4.5 hours away. Let's go. And so, but when we get there, I think, like Jonathan is saying, they're so kind of surprised that we take the time to share a blender or a face with that line for them because they typically think we're only in Chicago, Miami, Atlanta, you know, all these major areas. Well, I love to reaching out because I hope that you know that I'm never going to judge you if there's 5 people or 50 people. I don't care. Sometimes I'd rather deal with a small group because I can't one-on-one, because when you get to the larger groups of, you know, 50, 60, 70 people, you're going to miss a guy or two or a girl or two, and they're going to say, you know what, he's okay. I didn't talk to him. He's kind of a, you know, I don't know, approachable. I'm like, really?
So one of the first times I ever traveled with Ricky, we were getting in the car, and he was like, he'd asked me earlier how long it was away, and I was like, that's a couple hours. And so I get the GPS on. He looks down at the GPS and he goes, 3.5 hours. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, bro, I fly 3.5 hours. I don't drive 3.5 hours.
So Ricky let you drive the first time?
Oh, no. He rented a car the first time. I said one of the first times. But so we get there and we have the time of our life. And we just have such a fun event, but he gave me shit all the way, and it was well humored. He was not mad, but we had a good time. He's like, "What are we going to talk about for 3.5 hours? I don't even know you. Like this is going to be so awkward." I was like, "Just put on your headphones, dude. Just do your thing."
I should be the Benji, and all of a sudden. I'm getting to the point. I know it's going to happen eventually. That I'm like, oh my God, he's the old man. Look at him. Bless his heart, he's sleeping right now. But
the first time I traveled with Rick, he wouldn't even let me drive. I had to get into his car, and then he drove me around.
Yeah, I don't trust you.
Yeah.
Well, number one, you didn't even know where to go. You didn't know your territory. Like, we're passing shops. How about that guy? I haven't been there yet. How about that guy? No, I haven't been there yet either. They're like, really? What are you doing out there?
That was like week 3 of Tampa. Maybe first month of Tampa.
Yeah.
I think that's one of like Rick or like probably Zach and I's favorite thing about working with you is you were a rep and you started like us. And so you never hurt us on the road. When we go travel, when we go visit shops, we never leave a shop worse off because we brought you in there.
Right.
And that's huge. We can trust you with our babies and know that you'll help nourish it. And we appreciate that because, you know, that's not everyone. And I've been in this business with other companies. I've been 6 years, I guess now. And it's not always that way. And it's a huge benefit.
I remember Dan Carr, the president of General Cigar, when I took over CAO, says, that's great. Now you can be our ears and eyes out there and see what these guys are really doing and the numbers and the placement. I said, Dan, so you wanted me to be your rat to report to you? You know, Jonathan took me to a shop that only had 2 boxes of CAO. Yes. Could you do that for us? No. I hire somebody else, but I am not ever going. It's rarely that you see me in your shops enter a humidor without you guys saying, let's go to the humidor. I have been so many places I've never been in their humidor because that's not my business. It's up to you guys to invite me or the shop owner say, you know what, Ricky, let me show you the humidor because I'm not there to count anything. I'm there to help you guys, and I don't care. I really don't care. It's about you, me, and that shop owner, and seeing if we can skin that cat a different way and hurt General Cigar. I don't care, you know, because I'm on their side, not General Cigar. General Cigar is okay. They're going to make money. Don't worry about. But my job is to help that little shop owner. What can I do to enhance yourself for CAO? I don't care if you have 2 products or 22 products. I don't care. Let's go to town and let's start to work together. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's like, you know, you and Laurel and Sean are all so different to travel with, and Justin, but there's so many benefits to each, and it's been so much fun.
Who was that last guy? Who was that last guy?
Yeah.
Who is JA? I'm having to move inside because I'm getting rained on.
All right. You do that. So, Gary, what's the last time we worked together? Was it in Pennsylvania, right? That was the last official time.
The last official
I know,
time. I'm trying to think of when after that, though. What our last big. Was it like Big Smoke?
No, I think we're in the last year was at the Colorado. Was the last time.
Colorado.
Yeah.
That was the last time the 2 of you were together was in Colorado?
I think so.
That or I think we were in Vegas together too, right? For Big Smoke, or like right after that.
I hope Vegas is going to happen. Have you heard about this Big Smokes, or they're going to cancel?
So today they actually just postponed the one that's taking place at the Hard Rock in Hollywood, Florida. So that one was October 31st. It was Halloween. So that one they just postponed all the way until April 17th of 2021. But as far as I know right now, we were emailing back and forth. They're still on right now for Vegas. So Vegas is November 20th to the 22nd this year at the Mirage. So, I mean, it's still TBD, but for now they are saying that it is going to happen.
So I really wanted to go to Vegas because CA just called me up, and I think I'm going to be on the panel. So that's the first time that we have been on the panel. Matter of fact, it was the first General Cigar person who's been on the panel because Ernesto was on the panel 2 years in a row, but after he left GCC, Mike was never on the panel. So I was really getting excited to be on the panel to interact with all these other guys, but I'm going to do Ricky. I don't care. So,
Did you ever work with Ernesto when you started? Didn't you start?
Yeah.
So what did you learn from him? I mean, he's just such a legend in this industry. I mean,
you know what? I've trained with Ernesto for about 2 months, and I remember that 2 months was not about blending. It was not about Gloria. It was all fermentation. So anytime he went to fermentation, I was there with him. He made me work in fermentation for about 3 weeks, dealing with the tobacco and working from, sun up to sundown in that area. So he really taught me about fermentation because he says this is the secret. This is where everybody takes different routes.
Hmm.
Understand this because Ricky, we're all using the same tobaccos. Everybody's buying the tobaccos from the same growers. What we do in fermentation is our secret. We allow us to create different bodies, different colors, different flavors. It's all about fermentation. If you really peel back the onion and say, Ernesto, why did you leave Jello Cigar? I think he would say because I had to fight with Danielle about tobacco all the time. I just gave up because I think of Danielle was a proud man and Ernesto was a proud man, and those two just collided all the time. But fermentation. So again, he knew that I was going to take over La Gloria. I thought he was going to teach me about blending. He says, Ricky, blending will come when you're working with Benji. Right now, the secret to my success is fermentation. Fermentation. How do I control that tobacco throughout his lifetime? And so, yeah,
So you literally got trained by two Hall of Famers.
Yeah, I was about to say two
You
Hall
know,
of Famers.
That's
Well,
pretty damn
and
cool.
you can tell you take pieces of it. You always tell that story
Yeah.
about Benji and the Partagas Black Label, how it wasn't necessarily a cigar that he enjoyed, but it was a cigar that he knew the consumer would, and he was right. And then you take stories that you got from Ernesto when you're talking about this one, you're saying fermentation. And yet again, you just had that case example between Bones and Session and how the fermentation process is a little bit different. So you can tell where you've taken your lessons from these two blenders and you've kind of put them in how you see CAO today.
And don't forget, Mr. Coleman, Hall of Fame, and he taught me how to enter a factory, meaning do not disrespect anybody. So in my eyes, that guy that's sweeping this floor, cleaning the bathroom, cleaning our factory is as important as my president of the factory, Danielle. Because if this guy's not doing his job, do you really want to come to work in a filthy environment? So he is, and the rollers and everybody touched tobacco. So he really taught me the way to respect anybody and everybody connected with making cigars. So when you visit me or with me to the factories, you'll see that I'm kind of hugging and greeting, or they're greeting me. The guys are sweeping the floor, a roller, the guy has had the tobacco. We're all the same. They're all the same. And then Frank Anessa and me had, I was thinking about this, 20 times I sat in Frank Anessa's office in Tampa just talking about farming tobacco. That to me, 20 times, if you say an average of, an hour a time, that's 20 hours he taught me about how to plant, why to plant this area, why not to plant, what tobaccos will react to that soil. It was something that I remember that again, and that combination of how to act in the factory, the tobacco in the farm, the fermentation from Nestle, and the blending from Benji. You're like I said, bro, 4 Hall of Famers taught me to do my job. And so if you have to really kind of set your mind, I'm going to make a bad cigar, because if you just listen to your training, you're going to make a decent cigar, and it's going to be a great cigar to somebody. Not saying every cigar that we're ever going to release, Bones, it's not going to be a great cigar for everybody.
Right.
But the people that are fans of that style or that company, that's what we're
Perfect.
talking about. Yeah.
As a former rep, do you think having a little more of that knowledge while you're repping would have been beneficial at all, or do you think it's superfluous to the job?
No. I think we do you guys a kind of wrong by not taking you to the factories more often, especially for this company that has 3 factories that run 3 different ways. So we tend to just go to the DR, and the DR represents a great factory. It really does. It's Macanito, Cuiba, La Gloria. You know, this is Particus. This is a great factory. But when you go to Honduras and you see that process, like, whoa, I can easily trash what I learned in the DR and just learn from these guys. Oh, let's go to Nicaragua, and it's a different process. I've always said knowledge is power. So the more we can train you, it's the easier job that you can relate to that cigar. And so it's kind of like me. I'm kind of tired of what's the blend. Okay, what does it mean to you? If I tell you the blend has the DR, Nicaragua, and Honduras, really, what does that mean to you? Have you ever smoked a fuma of that different tobaccos? It's I think I can compare it like this. If you only eat a pizza, only had a pizza all your life, what does bread taste like alone, your crust? I don't know. What is tomato taste like? What does it add to your pizza? I don't know. I've never had cheese without a pizza. So what is cheese introduced to that pizza? I don't know. So here, eat some cheese by itself. Okay. Oh, that's flavor. Eat a tomato. Eat an onion. Eat a pepper. Eat the crust. And if you can separate it, then when you eat that pizza, like, oh, the combination. So I think we're doing a justice when we talk about blends to these fans, and it's like, what does it mean to you? Yeah.
I think the normal cigar consumer has like a tobacco that they once had it in a wrapper, or they had it sometime, or maybe someone taught them about. And if that specific tobacco is in a cigar, they're going to say, oh, I'm going to like this cigar. And they come in with that mindset. And that's like saying, you know, I love a certain type of pepperoni, and you eat this whole pizza where that's such a small part of it that might not even come out in the flavor with all the toppings on it, but you're stuck on that one piece of pepperoni. So I mean, you have all these guys that are like, I'm a Nicaraguan cigar fan. Really? I mean, there's Nicaraguan cigars that have every different range of flavor.
But I think that's what CAO does, though. I think that's what CAO does for the consumer, is that you're right. I mean, take it, for example, the Session and now the Bones that we've used broadleaf now too in 2 different ways. But one consumer might say, hey, I really love broadleaf, I'm going to give it a try. But some guy might say, hey, I really like CAO. That CAO Nicaragua was great. Well, that certainly wasn't broadleaf, but I'm going to give this a shot. I think people who smoke CAO and they're very brand loyal to CAO are more likely to be adventurous with your choices. That's kind of something that I've noticed.
Yep.
Yeah, Amazon Basin.
Yeah. So Jonathan, I think it works on the other side of the coin too, because my belief, the reason I started stop sharing the information before these guys smoke it, because I love Cameroon. Anything, okay, here's a Cameroon cigar. I got the guy. But what I don't want to say, oh, you have Nicaraguan SLE in it. The last time I smoked this cigar with SLE, I didn't like it. Whoa, you can't judge this cigar, because that's the reason I don't want to share the blend until the guys smoke it.
I've seen you do that on Facebook and stuff.
Yep.
So you say, hey, just smoke it first, and then we'll talk about the blend.
And then God forbid you say Cameroon, and then Rick's going to have a whole tirade about how much he
I thought I hated Cameroon. Yeah, bro, I guarantee you the way I look at Cameroon today is going to change when we release the new vision. That cigar that Benji worked with me on in the team, and I'm smoking it I think 3 days ago. It is changing the way I look at Cameroon, because that Cameroon
I love Cameroon personally.
Me too.
Yeah.
So is this year or next year?
No, it's going to be this year. I think we're going to release that vision this year in November, because I think Doug want to kind of celebrate the Christmas holiday with that box because that box
Limited edition.
Yeah,
It's going to be
Very
great.
cool.
It's a beautiful
Yeah.
box. It's great.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, talk about ingenuity right there. Class act of Marvel engineering when it comes to a box. I know my dad, who's on the Zoom calls, is asked me about the new Vision multiple times. I know it's one for me that I'm super excited about to come out.
I don't know how these shops are going to handle the boxes because they're only going to receive 2 or 3 boxes each shop. And so, okay, I want the box. I want the box. To the point that I was saying to Doug, should we put a kind of card or some ticket in the box so these guys can draw and take the pressure off of them? I don't know because I think everybody because that box is going to be a humidor, and I know the minute you see it, I want it. So I can't afford to buy a box. I think we're making about 1,800 boxes.
Are they going to be numbered?
Originally they were going to be, but I think we kind of got away from that because we didn't want to put that numbering system on the outside of the box because when it did it, it just took away from that box. Yeah, so. But
no, I like the raffle idea. I mean, with Spectre, it's so funny because that's the closest thing I've seen to that.
Yeah.
But the way the guys, I mean, most retailers are selling them as a box. I don't know. Is Vision 10 count?
No, Vision is going to be 20 count.
Okay. So with the 10 count Spectre, a lot of guys sold it as a box. Or some guys would do, everyone buys one, you get one raffle ticket for the box or different things. But this is different, though, because it's a humidor. So that's even cooler.
So my thanks to you guys, Gary included. I would email Doug and say, don't forget about us. We need a box each to show off to our accounts.
Oh, I already called Doug. I already called Doug. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't let me walk in with a picture of the box.
Jonathan was supposed to know that. I already called Doug. Doug's already said.
I love it.
Yeah.
I just love that Zach is the 54-year-old man that uses his hands-free with his hands. He holds it up to his mouth. Only guys over 50 do that. No guys under 50 have ever done that before, Zach.
Rick doesn't even do that.
But he does live on a retirement golf course, so I guess that makes sense.
You know what? The amount of geriatrics that fly through this and I think are going to either have a heart attack or a crash is an amazing amount of people. It is the people watching is amazing.
Yeah, really?
I don't really like watching old people play golf.
You know what? When you don't have sports
I picture, you know what the scene in Caddyshack where he was cleaning the balls and the old ladies were bidding you down? I just picture Zach. Yeah.
Exactly. You know what? When you don't have sports and the only thing on is the golf course behind you. No. Okay, look. When we didn't have sports, let me specify. We currently have sports. When we didn't have sports, the best thing I have is this 16th hole par 3 that's like, I don't know, 86 yards. And people are taking a 7-iron to hit the green, and they hit the sandbox, which is easily like 20 yards before the hole. And I'm like, well, now I have to commentate because that was terrible. Please redo your shot.
You just yell out boos to them? Just boo.
All the time. I clap when they make it. I yell, hoot, and holler. I do the whole thing quiet. I have a quiet please sign for everybody. Literally, I do. I sit out here with my table out, right, and I have a whole commentary booth. It's the greatest piece of entertainment I've had on a Saturday.
I bet your wife loves that.
This is your work from home entertainment.
She loves it.
I know this is the wrong question. How many balls you have? Yeah.
On a par 3, you probably don't have a lot, right?
No, you don't. I think you only need one.
Yeah, but how many balls have you collected in your yard?
The good thing I have my house is recessed back from this gigantic tree. I don't even know what kind of tree it is, but it's huge, right? I can't remember what it's called. But a lot of
I think it's a birch maple.
No, it's definitely not a birch maple. A lot of people get scared because my yard is back, and they don't want to hit in my backyard when I'm sitting back here. So they just leave the ball out there. I literally collect 5 balls a week.
Again,
Take them all up.
with him using these, like, can you hear me now? I can picture you like the old angry man. Get off my yard! Get off my yard!
I was considering putting signs up telling everybody this is private property so they wouldn't walk through, but I decided I didn't want to do that.
Or it's just a sign I'm voting for Biden.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Everybody's way.
Yeah, I've never lived on a golf course. I've been to a couple.
Golf courses? Is that what you're
they
saying?
have to be
a couple golf courses?
Yeah, they have to be under $25 for 18. And I have to be invited to all golf courses now. I have a lifetime ban at certain ones. So
It's called putt-putt, right?
yeah.
What course can you play for under $25?
You should try living in Southern
backyard.
Kentucky. Southern Kentucky.
My backyard is $1. It's $1 a hole. It's $18 and $4 a cart. I'm telling you, that shit is cheap.
Ricky, were you ever a golfer back in the day?
I did play about maybe 10 times. Great courses, but I realized, my old baseball swing just affects me.
It's funny he says that because so many baseball players are so good at golf.
No, it's the opposite of that. Their basketball players are good at golf.
Have you seen Charles Barkley play golf? Have you seen Charles Barkley play golf?
And have you seen John Smoltz play golf? So, yeah.
All right, so we'll end it there. So thank you guys so much for being a part of the show. I think I want to kick some butt this year in fantasy football. Easy Money, you need to change your name, Gary, to Easy Money.
Easy Money.
It's a great name for your team. And so I look forward to playing you guys. But Zach, I'll see you this weekend.
Yep.
And Jonathan, I'll see you next year.
Sounds good.
Probably
Gary,
me too.
Gary,
Next year?
maybe 2022.
Maybe Vegas in November. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah. But thank you guys so much for being a part of this. Hopefully you guys learned something about CAO, about the Cigar the Bone cigar. If you haven't not tried it, go out there. Some great sizes, great price points. Don't worry
This is
about
how much I like mine.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I like it.
Doing the same.
I'm chowing on it.
Yeah, same thing.
I finished mine.
Yeah. So, but guys, stay safe, stay cool, and I'll see you guys soon.
Thanks for having me, Rick. I really
Thanks,
appreciate
man.
it.
Thank you so much.
See you, Jerry.
Bye.
Bye.